In 1911, Hiram Bingham, a Yale University professor, ventured into Peru's deep jungles, chasing the legend of Vilcabamba, a hidden city said to hold the Incas' secret gold. This journey wasn't just about treasure, it was entwined with the dramatic story of how the Inca Empire fell to Spanish invaders. Legends tell of the Incas hiding their king's treasure in a secret city to protect it from Spanish hands, sparking centuries of treasure hunters' dreams. What if the real treasure is understanding the true story? Join us in an investigation, looking beyond the myth for the real wonders of the Incas' legacy, rediscovering the Incas' last refuge. On the morning of July 24, 1911, Hiram Bingham, a professor from Yale University, was on an adventure deep inside the jungles of Peru. He was looking for something extraordinary, a legendary city called Vilcabamba, known in tales as the final resting place of the Incas' hidden gold. This wasn't just any search. It was fueled by stories that were as much about lost treasures as they were about the dramatic fall of the Incan Empire to the Spanish conquerors. According to legend, over 400 years ago, when the Spanish invaded, the Incas took their king's vast treasures and hid them away in a secret city, Vilcabamba. This story has become a legend, inspiring many to dream of finding a city of gold lost in time. Bingham's journey was driven by this mix of history and myth, a tantalizing blend of fact and fiction that has captivated the imagination of treasure hunters for centuries. However, when you look closer, there's room to question the story. The idea of a city filled with gold and hidden away by the Incas is a thrilling tale, but it also simplifies a complex history. This legend turns a serious chapter of Incan resistance against European invasion into a fairy tale of hidden treasure. It's a narrative that, while exciting, doesn't fully respect the depth of Incan culture or the tragedy of their conquest by the Spanish. This expedition, though dressed up as a scholarly pursuit, isn't free from criticism either. Seen through a modern lens, Bingham's quest might seem more like an attempt to take possession of another culture's history, turning a deep and nuanced story into a hunt for golden glory. The search for Vilcabamba shows how easily the line can blur between exploring and exploiting history. As Bingham made his way through the jungle that day, one has to wonder what he was really after. Was it a genuine attempt to uncover a piece of history? Or was he more captivated by the fame and fortune that would come with discovering a legendary city of gold? This adventure reminds us that the stories we chase often say more about us than the histories they represent. The legend of Vilcabamba isn't just a story about lost treasure. It's a lesson in how we value and interpret the past, often colored by our own desires and preconceptions. Lawrence Bingham and his team found themselves in the middle of a vast area, covering 5 square miles of ancient ruins left by the Inca civilization, hidden from the world for many years. The local people casually mentioned that this place was known as Machu Picchu, a name that has now become a symbol of ancient architectural wonder. The Inca are famous for their incredible skill in stonework, using a technique where they carve stones so precisely that they fit together perfectly without needing any glue or mortar. This kind of craftsmanship, where every stone fits just right, like pieces in a puzzle, is really impressive, especially considering they didn't have the modern tools we have today. It's quite astonishing, really, when you think about it. These stones, which are incredibly heavy and were carved from the mountains themselves, are arranged in such a way that you couldn't even slide a thin dollar bill or a razor blade between them. How they managed to fit these massive stones so perfectly together without the technology we rely on today puzzles many experts in archaeology and engineering. As Lawrence digs deeper into the story, it becomes clear that the construction of Machu Picchu was an extraordinary feat, showcasing the Incas' advanced skills not only in building and engineering, but also in astronomy. They were able to align their structures with celestial bodies, which is quite remarkable. However, Lawrence hints at something even more mysterious, suggesting that perhaps the Inca didn't achieve this incredible feat on their own. In fact, within the heart of Machu Picchu, there are stones that weigh more than 50 tons. The idea that these huge stones could have been moved and placed so precisely has sparked a lot of debate. It suggests that there might have been some sort of help or knowledge that goes beyond what we understand about the ancient world. This hints at the possibility that the construction of Machu Picchu wasn't just a result of human ingenuity, but perhaps involves something more, something that challenges our usual understanding of history. The discussion around Machu Picchu is not only about recognizing the Incas' remarkable abilities in construction, engineering, and astronomy. It also opens up a range of theories, some might call them wild guesses, that push the boundaries of our understanding of the past. It shows how much we love mysteries and the unknown, and how we're always ready to consider ideas that might seem far-fetched, but are intriguing and open up a world of possibilities beyond the straightforward facts of history. Looking at these ancient stones, one can't help but marvel at how snugly they fit together. It raises a big question. How were people from so long ago, with only the most basic tools at their disposal, able to achieve such precision? It's a question that remains unanswered, leaving us to wonder about the advanced techniques that must have been used. The way these stones are joined together with such accuracy is a puzzle that many still can't solve. It makes one think that maybe, just maybe, there was more to their technology than we give them credit for. The incredible craftsmanship on display is nothing short of astounding, especially when you consider the challenging locations of these structures. The Incas were known for their unique method of shaping stones so they could interlock perfectly, much like pieces of a puzzle. But doing this kind of intricate work, especially at high altitudes, seems almost beyond belief. How were these massive stones moved and sculpted in such difficult conditions? It's a mystery that has led some to speculate about extraordinary explanations. We're about to explore secrets that might change history, Pachacuti myths, or clues to extraterrestrial influence. Among these speculations is the theory that extraterrestrial beings might have had a hand in constructing these ancient marvels. While most scientists wave off such ideas as mere fantasy, some insist that hidden aspects of places like Machu Picchu could reveal they're much older than we've been led to believe. They suggest that these sites might have been the work of a civilization far more advanced than our historical records acknowledge. Just a short distance from the heart of Machu Picchu is a site dedicated to Pachamama, or Mother Earth, marked by a significant granite stone. This stone is believed to conceal secrets that have remained undiscovered for over 1,000 years. Some, like a researcher named Lawrence, suggest that there might be unknown stories and complex truths about these sites waiting to be uncovered. The ongoing debate about these ancient structures mixes verified facts with speculation and imaginative theories. The skepticism surrounding how these buildings were constructed is understandable, considering the perfection achieved with what are presumed to be simple tools. This wonderment not only highlights the extraordinary skill of the ancient builders, but also prompts us to rethink our understanding of human history and capability. The enigmatic nature of these sites doesn't just challenge our current knowledge. It also underscores the incredible ingenuity and determination of the human spirit, reminding us of what is possible with creativity and hard work, even in the most trying of times. In 2016, an archaeologist exploring the famous ruins of Machu Picchu came across a very faint and mysterious carving. This wasn't just any carving. It depicted a man, a llama, and some unusual patterns that were both black and white. This find was exciting and confusing at the same time. It suggested that Machu Picchu might have a much older and more complex history than anyone had thought before. Instead of just accepting the site as an Incan relic, some started to wonder if this place had stories that went way back, long before the Incas ever existed. But jumping to such big conclusions from a single carving seemed a bit hasty to others, raising eyebrows about how quickly people are ready to rewrite history based on a few unclear images. Then there was another discovery that added more mystery to the story. This time, it was in Pachamama, close to Machu Picchu, where what seemed like ancient cave paintings were found. According to a tale by the fictional character Lawrence, these paintings could be traced back to around 800 AD. This was a time long before the Incas ruled the region. If these paintings were as old as they seemed, it could mean that the area's importance went way back, much further than anyone had realized. But that's not where the strange stories end. The Incan religion itself, with its gods coming down from the sky, adds another layer of mystery. Specifically, there's a story about Emperor Pachacuti that some find hard to believe. It's said that right before a big battle, Pachacuti was near a lake, thinking about his next steps. Suddenly, a disc came down from the sky and a face appeared from it. For some, this story is just a myth or legend, but for others, it's seen as a clue that maybe, just maybe, there were ancient aliens involved in the history of the Incas. While these tales and discoveries are fascinating, they've also led to a lot of speculation. Some people are quick to connect them to theories about advanced ancient civilizations, or even visits from aliens long ago. However, there's a big difference between guessing and having actual proof. The story about the carving, the ancient paintings, and the legend of Pachacuti opens up many possibilities, but without solid evidence, they remain just that possibilities. It's exciting to think about the mysteries of the past, but it's also important to remember that not every story or symbol we come across is a direct window into a hidden history. As much as we love a good mystery, we have to be careful about letting our imagination run too far ahead of the facts. In a story that feels as ancient as the stones themselves, we find Pachacuti, a historical figure known not only for his battles, but for a very unusual friendship he's said to have had. Let's picture a time when the world wasn't just about what we can see and touch. In this story, a mystical being tells Pachacuti that he's going to win not just one, but many battles. What happens next sounds like something out of a fairy tale. Big, heavy stones that you'd think could never move suddenly come to life. They move to Pachacuti's side in his battle. And these same moving stones are believed to have been used to build Machu Picchu, one of the world's wonders, which adds a magical twist to its history. Jumping forward around 600 years, the story of how Machu Picchu was built remains a big question mark for scientists and historians today. They use all sorts of modern tools and knowledge to try to figure it out, but there's still so much they don't know. The foundation of Machu Picchu is particularly interesting because it's believed that a huge part of it is underground. These underground parts were probably built to protect the site from earthquakes and to manage water flow, which shows how smart the builders were. Keeping Machu Picchu standing strong on top of a mountain must have required some impressive planning below the surface. It's even thought that there could be hidden rooms under the ground that haven't been found yet. Hidden rooms in Machu Picchu whisper of undiscovered stories, in search of Machu Picchu's forgotten treasures. In 2010, an engineer named David Crespi made an interesting observation while looking at the caves under the Temple of the Three Windows at Machu Picchu. He suggested that the back wall might be covering up an entrance to more hidden rooms. This idea makes you wonder what could be inside these rooms. Are there more secrets of Machu Picchu waiting to be discovered? Could these hidden places offer clues about why Machu Picchu was built and by whom? So the story of Machu Picchu is not just about stones and construction. It's filled with mystery and unanswered questions. It's about the connection between what we see on the surface and the secrets that might lie beneath. Even with all our modern knowledge and technology, Machu Picchu reminds us that there are still mysteries out there, stories untold, and possibly magic hidden within our world. The story of how it was built and why continues to fascinate us, mixing history with legend and reminding us that there's always more to discover. He quickly tries to tell other archaeologists around the world about what he found, hoping they'd be as excited as he was. But oddly, no one responds. As time passes and he still doesn't hear back from anyone, he starts to feel ignored. That's when he decides to contact Thierry Jamin, a French archaeologist known for taking on projects that others might not. Jamin is interested, maybe because he's curious about why no one else responded, or maybe because he likes a good mystery. Jamin manages to get the okay to look more closely at the site with special equipment that can see underground without digging. In April 2012, he and a group of archaeologists, who are a mix of skeptically interested and excited about what they might find, start their work. They're using technology to peek beneath the surface, hoping to prove there's something big hidden there. Their work suggests there might be a hidden room under the ground, possibly reached by a long-lost staircase. This idea is thrilling because it suggests a connection to something grand and ancient. However, one can't help but wonder if this staircase might just lead to a dead end, filled more with hope than actual findings. The equipment also suggests there's a lot of metal buried there, which gets everyone thinking about treasure, silver and gold, the kind of stuff you'd expect in a royal tomb. This idea fits perfectly with stories of ancient kings and hidden riches that have always captured people's imaginations. But there's a side of you that might start questioning this excitement. After all, finding metal doesn't always mean you found treasure. Sometimes what's really valuable in archaeology isn't shiny gold, but the everyday objects that tell us about how people lived long ago. As the investigation continues, it reminds us that finding something significant isn't guaranteed. Everyone hopes, but everyone also knows that not every discovery turns out to be as exciting as it first seems. The real treasure in archaeology often isn't gold or jewels, but learning more about our history and the lives of people who came before us. Like the ancient Egyptians, the Incas preserved their leaders after death, but not to show off their power. Instead, they wanted to keep their leaders' influence alive. Their burial customs were simple, not lavish, reflecting their belief that death wasn't the end. They thought their leaders' spirit stayed behind, watching over their descendants from the afterlife. This belief led to some pretty unique traditions. Spanish records from when they arrived tell stories of the living sharing meals with the mummified bodies of their ancestors, treating them as if they were still part of the family and society. These mummies weren't just stored away. They were given places in large palaces, showing a level of respect and care as if they were still alive and ruling. The Spanish conquerors, coming from a culture where death was seen as a final separation, found these practices strange and a bit unsettling. They were shocked by how much influence these mummies had over the living, almost as if they were still leading their people. There's a theory that the entire city of Machu Picchu was built with the afterlife in mind, serving as a giant tribute to this belief in life beyond death. When Hiram Bingham and his team explored Machu Picchu, they're said to have found all the burial sites, but there's a chance they missed the most important one. If true, it shows that our understanding of the Incas, especially their burial practices and beliefs about death, might still be incomplete. This idea reminds us that what we know about ancient cultures is often just the surface, and there's so much more to discover about how they viewed life, death, and everything in between. In a place where history is full of secrets, and the dream of finding ancient treasures drives people to explore, the government of Peru decides to be careful. They say no to Thierry Jamin's request to dig deeper into the ground. Jamin, who is very passionate about his work and maybe a little obsessed with finding treasure, believes there are important burial places hidden beneath the earth. He thinks that these are not just empty spaces, but the final resting spots of legendary figures, especially Pachacuti, the man who built the amazing Machu Picchu. In Jamin's imagination, there's a mummy made of gold, not just buried but carefully placed within these walls, showing how rich and powerful the Incan Empire was. But here's where the story gets even more interesting, moving into the realm of guesses and maybe a bit of wishful thinking. Jamin suggests that the mummy of Pachacuti, an emperor known for expanding his empire, might have been hidden in a cave under the Temple of the Sun. This is the same cave that Hiram Bingham, the explorer who made Machu Picchu famous again, thought was used for burials over 100 years ago. However, this idea relies a lot on what-ifs and guesses, moving away from strict archaeological study and into the world of exciting but unproven theories. Our journey dives deeper into Machu Picchu's mysteries, hunting for Pachacuti's ultimate legacy. As we think about Pachacuti's death in 1471, we find ourselves at a possible turning point in history. This could lead to one of the biggest discoveries ever, or it could end in disappointment, where the hope of solving historical mysteries meets the reality of needing to protect and preserve the past. Sometimes finding out the truth might not be as straightforward as we hope, and the people responsible for protecting historical sites might think some secrets should remain undiscovered. In this struggle to shine light on the past, Jamin's efforts show the constant challenge of uncovering history, even as those who watch over that history prefer to be careful, thinking that some mysteries are better left alone. In a move that feels like it's straight out of a dramatic story, the Inca Empire spent a whole year mourning their leader's death in a way that seems almost too over the top to believe. Right after that, they quickly switched gears to spend a month celebrating his life with a big festival. This dramatic shift from sadness to celebration makes you wonder if it's all just for show or if there's more to it. The center of this story is Pachacuti, a highly respected figure whose afterlife was anything but quiet. Even after he died, his body was treated like a celebrity, being taken out on regular trips from its resting place in the capital city of Cusco. According to Spanish stories from the time, it was as if he was still alive and kicking, joining in on activities despite being a mummy. This intriguing practice shows how much the Inca people honored him, but it also seems a bit strange, as if they couldn't fully let go of their past leader. However, the story takes a darker turn with the arrival of the Spanish in 1532, a time of great trouble for the Inca Empire. Right when the Inca needed their symbolic leader the most, Pachacuti's mummy suddenly went missing. The timing is very suspicious, suggesting either a significant loss or a deliberate move by the Spanish conquerors to remove a powerful symbol of Inca unity. To add to the mystery, in 1559, a Spanish official claimed he had collected the dead bodies of Inca kings and queens by order of the viceroy and sent them all the way to Lima. This action, possibly meant to show Spanish dominance or to keep the Inca leaders as trophies, shows a complete lack of respect for the Inca culture. It's a bold and harsh step that seems to rub salt in the wounds of a once great empire. This story, filled with drama, sadness, and a bit of arrogance from the colonizers, opens a window into the complicated power dynamics, the importance of remembering, and the effects of cultural destruction. It's a stark reminder of how history is often a mix of bold actions and questionable decisions, making us think about the real price of conquest and the lasting impact it has on those who are conquered. Pachacuti is a legendary figure in the history of the Incas, credited with expanding a small kingdom into a vast empire. His leadership and forward-thinking changes are a key part of the story of civilizations in the Andean region. The passage mentions that some bodies were found in a hospital in Lima, but none were confirmed to be Pachacuti. There's also a hint of a rumor that Pachacuti's mummified body might have been moved to Machu Picchu, adding an element of mystery. This raises questions about Machu Picchu's role in Pachacuti's life and possibly in his afterlife, suggesting that the site might be more than just a marvel of Inca engineering, but also a sacred resting place for this great leader. Machu Picchu, often celebrated as an emblem of Inca innovation and spirituality, harbors deep-rooted mysteries regarding its original purpose and significance. Established around 1450 during the reign of the Inca ruler Pachacuti, this ancient site has been a subject of debate among historians and archaeologists. Pachacuti, whose leadership marked a transformative period for the Inca Empire, is believed to have built Machu Picchu as a grand estate for himself, possibly serving as a retreat for the elite, a ceremonial center, or even a military stronghold. The site's layout includes a central complex of buildings close-knit around a central square, alongside terraces to the west, showcasing the Incas' exceptional masonry skills. These structures, crafted from locally quarried granite without the need for mortar, highlight the Incas' architectural genius, particularly resistant to earthquakes. One of Machu Picchu's distinguishing features is its alignment with celestial bodies, underscoring its spiritual significance. The Torreon, a D-shaped tower, is aligned with the Pleiades stars, reflecting its astronomical purpose. The site also contains the Temple of the Three Windows, further emphasizing its role in astronomical observation. Moreover, Machu Picchu was equipped with a sophisticated water supply system, including 16 stone channels that collected water from natural springs, indicative of the advanced engineering skills of the Incas. Machu Picchu's mystery extends to its inhabitants' identity and purpose. Early excavations revealed a mix of skeletal remains, suggesting a varied population that could include elite individuals, possibly indicating that it was a retreat for the Inca elite. Pottery discoveries have provided insights into the daily lives of its residents, revealing a connection to other parts of the Inca Empire. Despite its abandonment before the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors, Machu Picchu remained intact, hidden from European invaders until its rediscovery in the early 20th century. It was brought to global attention by Hiram Bingham, a Yale University professor, who, guided by local knowledge, unveiled it to the Western world in 1911. Since then, it has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting visitors from all over the globe and continuing to be a subject of archaeological study and preservation efforts. Each clue brings us closer to the truth behind Machu Picchu, rediscovering the Inca civilization with modern technology. The debates around its purpose, whether as a ceremonial site, a military outpost, or a royal estate, reflect the complexity and depth of Inca civilization. The fact that Machu Picchu might have served multiple functions including possibly being the final resting place of Pachacuti, adds layers to its mystique. The absence of written records from the Incas themselves leaves much of Machu Picchu's history to be pieced together from the physical evidence left behind. Pachacuti, known for his military and administrative prowess, transformed the Inca state into a sprawling empire. Following his death, the Inca tradition celebrated his life with elaborate rituals, including sacrifices and the mummification of his body. His influence extended beyond his reign, with his successors continuing to expand the empire and maintain the sacredness of Machu Picchu. Today, Machu Picchu stands as a testament to the Inca civilization's architectural, astronomical, and hydraulic engineering capabilities. Its historical significance, combined with its stunning natural setting, continues to captivate the imagination of people worldwide, making it a symbol of human ingenuity and resilience. Thierry Jamin, a French explorer and researcher known for his fascination with the Inca civilization, has been a prominent figure in the search for the tomb of Pachacuti, an Inca emperor believed to be integral to the history and construction of Machu Picchu. Jamin's approach to uncovering the secrets of the Inca civilization incorporates modern technology, notably ground-penetrating radar, GPR, which allows for the exploration of what lies beneath the earth without disturbing the surface. This method is particularly sensitive to the concerns surrounding excavation in historically significant sites like Machu Picchu, offering a non-invasive means to explore potential archaeological finds. Jamin's work has led to the discovery of a hidden chamber at Machu Picchu, speculated to potentially house the tomb of Pachacuti. This chamber, identified through the use of electromagnetic equipment, is thought to contain a treasure trove of artifacts, gold, silver, and other precious metals. It is believed that the entrance to this chamber, facing east, signifies its purpose as a burial site, adhering to Incan traditions of burial facing the rising sun, symbolizing rebirth. However, Jamin's exploration efforts have not been without controversy. In 2012, his proposal to excavate the site to explore these findings was denied by the Regional Direction of Culture of Cusco, citing concerns over the methodology and scientific rigor of his project. Subsequently, Jamin faced criticism from various quarters, including accusations of promoting pseudoscientific ideas, particularly following his involvement in the Nazca Mummies Project in 2017. This project claimed the discovery of mummified bodies that were suggested to be of extraterrestrial origin, a claim that was later debunked by experts who identified the mummies as manipulated human and animal remains. Despite these controversies, Jamin continues to be a significant figure in the exploration of Incan sites, driven by the possibility of uncovering new information about the Inca Empire and its leaders through the use of ground-penetrating radar and other non-invasive technologies. His work highlights the ongoing tension between the excitement of potential archaeological discoveries and the rigorous standards of scientific research and cultural preservation. Archaeology is a meticulous field that requires extensive preparation before any excavation or survey begins. It's not as simple as just showing up at a site with shovels. Archaeologists start by forming a research question to guide their exploration, deciding what to excavate, the data to collect, and the artifacts that are relevant. This process is crucial yet often overlooked in popular media representations of archaeology. Not all archaeological sites are hidden or lost. Many are well known, such as the Great Wall of China and the Pyramids of Egypt. However, archaeologists have several methods at their disposal when it comes to uncovering sites that have been lost to time. Some sites are discovered by chance, like the Terracotta Army in China, which a farmer found. Other sites are identified by investigating previous studies, including cultural resource management reports, ethnographies, historical accounts, and even literature. For instance, the ancient city of Troy was located based on descriptions in Homer's The Iliad. Was the magnificent architecture and astronomical knowledge of the Inca civilization a result of extraterrestrial assistance or the product of advanced techniques that were unparalleled at their time? Make sure to hit the like button, share your insights, and subscribe for more.